After more than 4 weeks on the picket line, the Canada Post strike will likely be over soon.
Canadians are rightly fed up.
The federal labor minister is using special powers under the Labor Code. He's asked the Canada Industrial Relations Board to consider ordering Canada Post employees back to work as early as next week.
These parties have not reached an agreement on their own for a long, long time. I wanted to give them every possibility of doing that. We devoted every bit of mediation and other resources that we could.
For some small businesses, it likely comes too late to salvage what should have been their busiest season for shipping products.
I'm really happy to hear that the Canada Post strike is potentially going to be resolved in short order. Clearly, the holiday season is a bust.
The mail backlog includes more than 1.5 million pieces of government mail and nearly 200,000 passports. In a statement, Canada Post says, "We look forward to welcoming our employees back to work and serving Canadians and customers. We will take all appropriate steps to support that process as quickly as possible."
The Labour Minister has disgusted us, to be fair.
The union says some members are already getting calls to return to the post office.
He did exactly what he said he wasn't going to do for the last 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and has now taken away the charter rights of 55,000 workers, saying it's a timeout, like we're children or something like that.
This is how the federal government has ended nearly every other major labor dispute this year.
It was a surprise to many of us when we saw this little-known provision in the Canada Labour Code being used by the minister, and used in such a promiscuous fashion to end all of these strikes and lockouts in the federally regulated industries.
Now, usually when a government wants to end a strike, it has to pass back-to-work legislation. That's what happened last time Canada Post had a labor dispute. So using this part of the Labor Code, that expert says, allows the federal government to bypass an essential part of democracy.
So they're likely going back to work, but where does this leave the negotiations?
Well, the Labor Minister has appointed a special commissioner. That person will look at the fundamental reasons why these two sides can't reach a deal. A report on that is due in May. But in the meantime, the collective agreements will be extended, and it's very likely the union will take the federal government to court, accusing it of violating the constitutional right to strike. But a judge's decision could take more than a year.
Marina von Stackelberg in Ottawa.